बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। डियर स्टूडेंट, आपकी सजेशन का वेलकम एहतराम करते हैं। एक बच्चे ने लिखा है कि सर अपने मोबाइल को थोड़ा सा बोर्ड से दूर रखें। तो बेटा एक्चुअली वो दूर है, लेकिन चूँकि मेरा फेस इसी वजह से जो है बड़ा और जो एक नॉर्मल जैसा है वो, क्योंकि मैंने तो मोबाइल को बोर्ड के पैटर्न के मुताबिक रखा हुआ होता है, लेकिन चूँकि मैं दरमियान में आ जाता हूँ तो डिस्टेंस बहुत ही कम आ जाता है। देयरफॉर मेरा चेहरा थोड़ा सा बड़ा और जो है अनयूजुअल सा नज़र आता है। तो मोबाइल से मैं इस वजह से दूर नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि वो बोर्ड के पैटर्न के मुताबिक मैंने उसको रखा हुआ है। अच्छा, हम आते हैं अपने टॉपिक की तरफ। जैसे कि मैंने आपको लेक्चर 2 में कहा था, यहाँ पे जो 2 लिखा हुआ था कि देयर इज सम स्पेशल definition that we will discuss inshallah in lecture number 3, and I have written these vectors: null vector, resultant vector, unit vector, parallel vector, antiparallel, equal and negative vector. So first of all we will define one by one what is a null vector. This is the null vector. Null vector can be defined as a vector whose magnitude is equal to 0. Whose magnitude is equal to 0. A vector whose magnitude is 0. Magnitude means a number with a proper unit. For example, and having arbitrary direction. Arbitrary means first, कोई भी किसी तरह. A null vector can be represented by O vector is equal. For example, A is a vector, and if we subtract the same magnitude of A, so A minus A is equal to 0. Therefore, we are saying having arbitrary direction. Actually, A 0 नहीं होता, ये दो वेक्टरों की सब्ट्रैक्शन से या किसी और तरीके से उसका मैग्नीट्यूड 0 आ जाता है। फॉर एग्जांपल, मैंने 3 वेक्टर जमा किए और उसका मैग्नीट्यूड नल वेक्टर आ जाता है, रिजल्टेंट इज इक्वल टू नल वेक्टर। तो आप कहेंगे कि किस तरह? फॉर एग्जांपल, एक वेक्टर दिस एंड अनदर इज दिस and another is this. I added 3 vector A, B, C, but in such an angle that their resultant is a null vector. No resultant vector is there. So this is called null vector. Next is the resultant vector. Resultant is, it's clear from its name, resultant, हासिल करना, result after compilation, after addition, after subtraction, after multiplication of vector. Let we have a 2 vector A and B, and we add these 2 vectors as shown. This is a vector A, and we want to add another vector B. Add this one this one. This is the resultant vector R. A vector which gives the combined result of all edit vector या और multiplication vector. वो वेक्टर जिसमें हम दो या दो से ज़्यादा वेक्टरों को जमा करके हमें एक रिजल्टेंट मिल जाता है, such a vector is called resultant vector. This vector we will discuss in coming two important topics: resolution of vector, addition of vector. Next is unit vector. Unit vector it's clear from the name unit. One, a vector whose magnitude is equal to 1 is called a unit vector. A vector whose magnitude is equal to 1, वो वेक्टर जिसका मिक़दार एक ही हो, is called a unit vector. A vector whose magnitude is equal to 1. In physics up to your level, FSC, first year, second year, 9th year, we have only 5 unit vector that we are using. How much? 5. One is called I, other is called J, other is called K, R and N. A unit vector can be represented by a letter. A letter means I, J, K, R, N. Over this letter we put a head. This is its representing, just like this. So we have only 5 unit vector. Up to your means approach, your concept, second year level, first year. I is the unit vector which is representing, which is along x-axis. J is along y. Z representing, K is representing Z. R is for position vector. Position. Position is the another. For position vector. N is for aerial vector, normal aerial vector. किस तरह? For example, this is the page. अब आपसे कोई पूछे इसका किस तरफ फेस है, तो आप कहेंगे ये ऊपर की तरफ. So N is actually representing normal unit vector. For example, another I want to give this. This is a page and this is another page. You can clearly show me what is the face in this direction. So N is in this direction. And what is the face of this side of let's say page or book? You will say upward. So you will say N. So N is the normal unit vector, position vector, and position unit vector. And this is K, Z, Y, and X. Now, the formula, how we can find the unit vector? In generally, in your mathematics, in your physics, we will say A vector is equal to magnitude into a vector की definition किस तरह हमने की थी? A vector which is completely specified by their magnitude as well as direction, because a unit vector gives the direction. This is so how we can find a unit vector? From this formula we can write this one. A unit vector, sorry, this is a head. A is equal to a vector per their magnitude. This is its formula. And आपको बताता चलो बेटा कि ईटा में इसके मुताबिक काफ़ी क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं और शायद आ जाते ही हैं और आएंगे भी। अब किस तरफ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज अ वेक्टर A 2i 2j plus k, दिस इज अ वेक्टर और आपको कहा जाता है फाइंड द यूनिट वेक्टर ऑफ दिस वेक्टर. Very simple if you remember the formula. So this is the vector A. You will put all these instead of this A. But how you can find the magnitude? Square, 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 square. So when you square this one, so this will be equal to A magnitude is equal to square means 4. 2 to 4. And when you square the I, it's equal to 1. Question is किस तरह, we will discuss inshallah in the last topic of this chapter. But clearly it's, see my video, how we can find I square is equal to 1. मैं आपको तफसील से बताऊँ कि ये क्यों 1 के बराबर है. The topic is scalar and vector product. So you will see that 4i square 1 plus 4j square 1, j square again 1, and k square is equal to 1, so 1 ka square 1, 4 4 and this one. So A magnitude is equal to under root 4 plus 4 plus 1 is equal to 3. So what should be the unit vector of this vector? You can clearly show that A is the same way, 2i 2j plus k divided by magnitude is equal to 3. Means this square, 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 square. So this is its magnitude dividing, we are taking under root both sides, this is and this is. You will see 3. So this is the unit vector of this vector. So all these about the unit vector. Now we are going to discuss parallel vector. Parallel vector is clear from the name parallel of vectors whose having an angle 0 between them is called parallel vector, whatever may be their starting point. Let's say this is a vector start from here and this is the vector start from here. So this vector are parallel because the angle between them is 0, is called parallel vector. And equal, I want to discuss equal along with this one, equal vector. So parallel and equal vectors. So parallel, a vector whose angle between them is 0 is called parallel vector, whatever may be their magnitude or starting point. But equal vector, a vector which having a 0 angle, whatever may be their starting point, but keep in mind the magnitude should be equal. 3 meter north, 3 meter north. Antiparallel vector, a vector who's having a magnitude, whatever may be their magnitude, what is the starting point of this, but they have an angle of 180, is called antiparallel. Now the last one but not the least one is position vector as well as negative vector. पहले definition सुने. A vector whose magnitude is equal to the original one but in opposite direction. A vector whose magnitude, a vector, let's say this is a vector A. So I am writing a negative of this. A vector whose magnitude is equal to the original one but in opposite direction. So this A is called negative vector of A. Let's say this is a vector E. So the negative of A is this one. It should be equal to a antiparallel. Let's say this is a vector. This will be minus A. In which direction you are writing, this is your choice. So negative vector, a vector whose magnitude is equal to the original one but in opposite direction. Next is position vector. Position vector, a vector which specify the position of a particle, position of a body in coordinate axis. फिर से repeat करो. A vector which specify the position of a position of a point of a body in a coordinate axis. For example, there is a point P is equal to 3, 4. ये एक point है. इसकी position vector मालूम करो. इसकी position भी मालूम करो. So let's say this is a coordinate axis x, y. It's a 2-dimension, not a 3-dimension. X, y, x prime, y prime, O. You know that in coordinate axis there are 4 quadrants. X positive, y positive, x negative, y positive, x negative, y negative, x positive, y negative. First quadrant, second, third, fourth. You have studied. So this is plus and plus. So it means this point is in first quadrant. You know that whenever you have graph 1 to 3 इस तरह आपके पास ये लेवल लगे होते हैं. X is 3, 1, 2, 3. and y is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They cut here. This is the point 3, 4. And this is the position vector r, which specify the position of this point in coordinate axis, in x, y, z, in x, y. So mostly we are using x, y, 2 dimension. So this vector is called position vector, which specify the position of this point in coordinate axis. It's called position vector. How you can find the position vector? If your position vector is represented by r, if it's in 2 dimensions, so we can write xi plus yj. Because along x is I unit vector, y is along j. This is I and this is j. If you have a 3-dimension, position vector can be written as xi plus yj plus zk. आपसे पूछा जाता है कि मैग्नीट्यूड मालूम करें द पोजीशन वेक्टर की. वेरी सिंपल. स्क्वायर r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. मैंने इसको फायरिंग कर दी. k square, j square, y square, as I said earlier. Why? It's equal to 1. Or you can write this one under root x square plus y square plus z square. If you have a 2-dimension, this will cut. So this will be the position vector of 2 dimension. And if you have a x, y, z, so you will put this z square. All these about the some special definition. Now we are going to discuss some important topic of this chapter. There is a topic, what is an addition of vector. Number 1. There is another topic, resolution of a vector. Or rectangular component method. There is another topic, addition of vector. Number 2 is resolution of vector. Number 3 is head to tail rule. Number 4 is a vector multiplied by a scalar. Dear students, look at this. Addition of vector. In 9th course, chapter number 4, addition of forces, dark wala jo hai, you have studied. The same thing is किस तरह एक वेक्टर है उसके साथ दूसरा ऐड करो और ये आपके पास रिजल्ट आ जाता है. रिजल्ट सिमिलरली आपके पास एक वेक्टर है, दिस इज ए, दिस इज बी, दिस इज सी. इसको ऐड करो, जो डायरेक्शन दिया है उसी डायरेक्शन में इस तरह इस तरह इस तरह, ये आपका रिजल्ट है. So therefore I am not discussing this topic because of shortage of time. Resolution of vector. ये मेरा हाथ है, ये उसका उलट. Addition or resolution, it's a converse process. Addition of vector can be defined as a process in which we add 2 or more than 2 vector to get a single resultant vector. एक ऐसा तरीका जिसमें हम दो या दो से ज्यादा वेक्टरों को जमा करके हम एक वेक्टर गेन करते हैं। रिजोल्यूशन ऑफ वेक्टर में यह है कि हमारे पास एक रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर होता है और उसको हम टुकड़े करके उसके कंपोनेंट बनाते हैं। So the splitting of a single vector into its component is called resolution of vector. Head to tail rule. Head to tail rule means head दो रूल्स। हम वेक्टरों को हम इसी तरीके पे एड करते हैं। Head to tail rule can be defined as a process in which we add two or more than two vectors in such a way that head of the first meet tail of the second and head of the second meet with the tail of the third and so on and so forth। जितने वेक्टर हैं एंड अब लेट से 3 है, अब इसकी यहां से लेकर द टेल रिजल्टेंट किस तरह ड्रा किया जाएगा? द टेल ऑफ द फर्स्ट टू द हेड ऑफ द लास्ट इज कॉल्ड रिजल्टेंट। अगर आपने यहां से इधर ड्रा किया इट मींस यू एडेड द 4 1 2 3 4। So resultant will be from first to the head of the last. Now, this is the head to tail rule. For a vector multiplied by a number. This is again a very simple topic, therefore I am not discussing this topic as well. You have studied in 9th course. A vector multiplied by a number. For example, a vector A and you multiply it by a 3. So this is a 3A. By a 4A. By 5. By a scalar means this is a number. आप इसको नंबर भी कह सकते हैं। So when you multiply a vector by a number, so its magnitude will increase. You know that this is A, 3A, 4A, 5A. So you can multiply a vector by a number. Its magnitude will increase or decrease. Because if I multiply it by minus 3A, so it will be equal to minus 3A. This is a A. But when you multiply it by minus 3, so its magnitude will be equal to minus 3A. So it means the magnitude has been increased, but the direction will becomes opposite. Because 3A is in this direction, but minus 3A will be in this direction, just like a negative vector. So बेटा मैं इसको इसी वजह से डिस्कस तफसील से नहीं कर पा रहा क्योंकि टाइम कम है और हम इसको इंशाल्लाह 15 जुलाई तक चैप्टर नंबर 2 और 3 को वाइंड अप करना है। Now the most important part of this topic of this chapter is what is the addition of vector by rectangular component method. What is the addition of vector by rectangular component method? So better in this topic, addition of vector is also has been discussed. Rectangular component has been, resolution of vector topic has been discussed. So this is a comprehensive topic, a very important topic. If let's say अगर मैं पेपर बनाऊं बोर्ड के लिए, so there will be a 90% chance from my side that I will put this topic into your board paper because it covers all these topics that I have discussed earlier, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you have studied in 9. So we will discuss this topic in lecture number 4 upcoming video. So subscribe my channel, dear student, and send to all these student. अब मसला ये है बेटा, मैं उर्दू में कह देता हूँ कि बाज़ बच्चे स्कूल के होते हैं जो मिडिल स्कूल से आए हैं, तो उसको थोड़ी बहुत इंग्लिश मुश्किल होती है. तो therefore I am discussing in English as well as in उर्दू. तो मैं इसकी उर्दू में डिफिनीशन इसलिए कह देता हूँ ताकि उस बच्चे को भी कोई फ़ायदा मिल सके मेरी ज़ात की वजह से, क्योंकि मैं समझता हूँ कि ये मेरी जो है मुस्तकबिल है, ये मेरी आखिरत को बना देगा. तो मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स का तो मुझ पे हक है, लेकिन वो स्टूडेंट जिसको अप्रोच नहीं है ट्यूशन का, तो वो इजीली इसको भी देख सकते हैं. सो प्लीज़ शेयर दिस वीडियो टू योर नियरेस्ट वन ताकि आपका भी खैर हो. अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि.